Hello, I'm Lora Shields, staff developer at Shelby County Schools in Shelbyville, Kentucky. Welcome to our podcast series, Shelby Speaks, Looking Forward. We are looking forward to the time when we are face-to-face with our students again, and we are also looking forward in time to the educational future of our district. What are Shelby teachers learning in the middle of this non-traditional instruction experience? And how will it transfer to, as well as transform their classrooms when we are once again inside our schools? In this episode, we're here today with Michelle McIntosh, who teaches preschool at Northside Early Childhood Center. Welcome to the podcast, Michelle.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So in envisioning how we're meeting students' needs during this time, it's easier to make the transition to think about students who are reading and writing on their own and how they're able to do that at home. But you're meeting the needs of preschool students.
It is a different world. It is a different world. I think the biggest thing is just letting our parents know that children learn through play and demonstrating what that play looks like. So part of the time I'm instructing the children, but I'm also instructing the parents on what education looks like with young children.
Oh, and that's really an awesome benefit too.
Definitely.
Because you're really able to bring them in as people who understand the learning even more. I'm taking a look at some pictures you've shared. Let's look at some of these and talk us through some of these things that have been happening with your class.
Well, this is one of our Zoom sessions. And with the Zoom sessions, I like to have most of the time I have where I can see all the children in front of me. And if you also see, I have some adults in there. And these are other adults that are important to these children. So besides the social aspect, they get to see their teachers, they get to say hi. I also can see how they're doing with the skills that I'm teaching. So this is a handwriting lesson, which you wouldn't think would be something you would do online. But part of it was we got to work on that grip before the break. And now I can see how their mechanics are.
That's awesome. And then there was another one where they're actually doing some movement with you.
Yes, this is what I call my pattern counting. And during this, I can see how they're making those connections. They're doing patterns. I can see that they're doing it. This allows me to take them from where they were before and continue learning and add on to learning and have them demonstrate the skills for me. And it also gives me a chance to work on those. This is what I call blended learning. So it gives me a chance, and with the blended learning, which is through the computer and through these classes, I'm finding some students are actually doing better in this type of environment than they were doing in the classroom. And I think that's something that I'll take from this and be able to utilize in the future.
So thinking about some ways that even when you are back face-to-face with them, you're able to use maybe even some computer connections at home or even maybe within the classroom.
Yes, it's pretty exciting,
Yeah. So you're also doing some reading with them.
The reading, big purpose of reading is I was thinking, how am I going to pull in social skills? How am I going to teach social skills, which is a huge dynamic of working with preschool children. That you work on those social skills. And so my books, I try to incorporate social skills in my books and the love of reading, the excitement for it, demonstrating to parents how I do the reading. It's tougher to do the questions back and forth, but I can show them how I teach them new vocabulary. I can show them skills like that. And then this is a post of what I do in my dojo. Class dojo is what it's called. And this is how I connect my lessons. When I'm through with the Zoom lesson, I recorded it and I save it to YouTube. and it's our own private YouTube. I share the link with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so those children who can't make it to class can watch these links, because we have those essential workers. They don't have the same hours.
Right.
And so they have a connection to what class was, and they can see it, and it also gives their children to see their friends. And then I share the links on Class Dojo. That was our activity for the day in our book. And then the children and the families go off and they do these activities, and they share pictures back on Dojo. And I let them know when I'm teaching it, just use whatever you have at home. It might not be what I have at home. Right. And I'll give off several different things. And I think it gets them thinking that we all don't have the same things at home, but we can still do these activities. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. These two books here, the first book that I did, The Very Lonely Firefly, I think that was very important for our children to hear about loneliness at this time, that they're separated, and take it and go into it and make them feel better about it. And then the other story was about perseverance. So books are a great way, and I think going forward, I would make sure that I was prepared if we were ever to go into this type of situation again, to have these books ready for the children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's obvious that you're focusing on their social and emotional health, but I also see math going on there, and some science and some reading.
Yeah, everything all at once. And yeah. So, and this, when you look at the big picture, with these kids and getting them on that path to college and career readiness, these are skills that they need. And this isn't your basic math problem, 1 + 4 = 5. That's not how preschool children learn. Mm-hmm. Children learn through play. So there's always a play activity or a craft activity that we're tying this in, because that's how they learn. Mm-hmm. And make it real for them.
Right. And these examples here of that true play, I mean, unless you're really paying attention, you might miss the fact that these students are actually doing some counting.
Right. And, this is how I demonstrate, the right side is how I demonstrated the activity. Mm-hmm. But I tell them, I said, you have materials at home, whatever materials you have. And this little boy, this is great. He told his mom, he said, I want to build this, and I want to build my own barn instead of.
Oh, that's awesome.
Perfect.
Creativity.
Yeah. And you can see these children are happy.
Oh,
They're enjoying, they're loving. For them, it's playing school. Mm-hmm. And for us, it's learning through play. And they're, even though we're not in a classroom together, we still have that feeling of togetherness, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really hadn't thought about how much parents are learning about how to encourage that learning through play through this opportunity.
Oh, and some of them are just, a majority of them are taking it and just running with it. And it's inspirational to see what the parents are doing, and especially, these ones who don't have the same schedule. The idea of being done in the classroom at 3:00 as a teacher never really was something, but it really isn't now. I mean, you have to reach everybody.
Right. So that book you're reading with them that you share with the class early in the day may be their bedtime reading with their parent as they come home from work.
Right. And that's something I would like to continue when we go forward, is taking my class reading and recording it and posting it for the parents to have, so they can follow through, and then sharing how I'm sharing the book and the activity on my dojo. class dojo. I'd like to continue that so they can see what the activity, because sometimes they get activity home in the backpack and they're like, it's endured a day in the backpack. What did it really look like?
Uh-huh.
So,
right. So then you're able to really capture and not only meet the social emotional needs, but help the parents to understand a way to connect to what's happening in the classroom.
yes, definitely. And dojo was something I didn't know till last year. And I think that's helped make virtual learning successful, is that I had a good relationship that occurred regularly on that platform. So when we went to a virtual platform, they were more prepared for it because we already had a relationship on a virtual platform.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So you've been able to really just ramp that up, attend to social emotional needs, attend to all kinds of academic needs, and model that through play that they can do with their children at home.
Yes.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see how you carry some of those things back to the classroom next year, whenever we are able to be face-to-face again. And I want to thank you for joining us today to share the learning and the way that you've ramped up what you've been able to do and are thinking about taking that back to the classroom.
Thank you.
Be sure to check out our Shelby Speaks Looking Forward playlist on our Shelby County Public School YouTube channel for more vodcast episodes. Thanks for watching.